Hi, everyone. Mitch from PickDogs.com. We're all laughing here. We were talking before the show went off about stuff that we can't talk about on the show. Got a nice email from one of our past writers. It started with, "You are a disgrace." Thank you very much. Happy Saturday to you. I always say it. Saturday is my favorite day during college football when I open my videos. You know, everyone loves that. It's my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year. College football Saturday. And it's like, it's not college football Saturday, so it's not my favorite time of the day. Favorite time of the year, whatever, any of that stuff. But, oh, man. It always is good to start the day with some comedy. And the thing is, I got about 20 emails from people saying, loving what we're doing. Thought it was going to be such a good day. Anyways, Steve, haven't seen you in a week. We're going to get back to doing the afternoon show with Steve Monahan. NFL free agency is getting ready to get fired up. This has been a crazy ass week, and I don't have a lot of excuses for anything. But we're going to be doing our afternoon show again at 4 p.m. Eastern. I'm also going to probably be doing a nighttime show at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern time for a first look for tomorrow. And I know what's going to happen during my first look for tomorrow. That people are going to be asking about that games that day and halftime bets and stuff like that. I don't care. We'll do that too. I was thinking about doing a show where I just eat oatmeal for an hour and just don't say anything. See how that goes.
I'd watch that.
Or maybe, do an oatmeal one in the morning and then maybe like a popcorn one at night for an hour. Like, where I'll just sit here and watch Friends or something, like 2 episodes of Friends. And, you can't show Friends and you can't hear what they're saying, but, I'll watch Friends and I'll eat popcorn. Maybe some almonds. I got the big Costco bag almonds, We can't show the bag, but we'll show the almonds themselves. It's a nice snack. Pretty good card today. I'm just going to go around the horn real quickly. Instead of saying hello to everyone, I'm just going to ask everyone one simple question. Baylor or West Virginia? Steve?
Baylor.
6.5 points?
Yep. Baylor at home. I think they're going to make the Final Four. I know West Virginia is having a good year for the most part. I just think Baylor's too much. I like Baylor at home here. No ifs and buts about it.
How about you, Rod?
I think give me West Virginia. Seems like a few too many points.
Rod's
Baylor likes the
Kansas.
Kansas, sure. Give me Kansas for sure. I like Kansas. I'll lay the 10.5 with Kansas.
Have you heard of Bill's cell phone call recently? It's like, these guys are stacked. Chris, how about you? Baylor or West Virginia?
Yeah, I'm going to go Baylor.
Bob Huggins, he always gets up for these games, but I do think he goes down swinging in this one. I think Baylor gets the best of this one too, but I think that Huggins looks doubly disgusted, like he got screwed somehow. He does get screwed a lot, so he has the reason for it. But
he's got fixed, Dan. I feel sorry for Bob Huggins, please.
Bob Huggins, when I lived in Cincinnati, is when he got the DUI. And it was the best, one of the best DUI tapes. It was probably better than my DUI tapes. It was it's probably up there with my DUI tapes, but they showed it on the news, which they didn't do with mine. And they said, he says, of course, my favorite celebrity expression when they get pulled over, the exact one that Reese Witherspoon said too, the exact same thing. And a lot of other people, a lot of the celebrities use this one. Do you know who I am? I love that one. It's like, and the cop says to Huggins, I know exactly who you are. You're the guy I let off 2 other times.
Well, one of my favorites is one of our buddies from BU, who shall remain anonymous, but his famous line driving to Vermont skiing when he got pulled over, and the officer peeks in, and he's about to get busted for DUI. He looks at him and goes, "Gee, officer, by the look of your nose, looks like you're no stranger to the bottle."
Yeah.
That didn't go over well.
Oof.
I don't know where Huggins is now with that stuff, but I know when I lived in Cincinnati, he was certainly known for that, and it was part of his undoing there at UC.
Yes, it was.
When I lived in Cincinnati, the Bearcats had some great teams, and that Kenyon Martin team where he broke his leg in the conference first game of the conference tournament. I mean, that team, I believe, would have been the national champions. It was really one of the greatest college basketball teams. It was kind of like, I would say it was on the level of that UNLV Larry Johnson team. It was kind of like that type of team where it had
They were
guys
good.
that were like just home wreckers,
Yeah, they were good.
Kenny Satterfield they had loaded.
They weren't exactly student athletes, let's be real, too, but they were a force on the basketball
I
court.
mean, these days college basketball players go for one semester, They're like one semester players, maybe two, It's like they're gone before grades come out for a second semester. Kenyon Rambo has no grade point average.
That's right.
That's my favorite was Kenyon Rambo when they announced his 0.0. Like, why was he suspended from the bowl game? He had a zero. This is when they used to say what the grade point average was, why they were academically ineligible. Kenyon Rambo had a 0.0 grade point average. It's like, how is that even possible? He blew Tarski his way through. I mean, they even gave, who's the guy, the linebacker? He was good in Buffalo. He was the linebacker at Ohio State. He was Andy Katzenmoyer. Andy Katzenmoyer at Ohio State he was academically ineligible. He took golf in the summer. It was like, that was the thing that got him academically eligible. He took golf. It's like Andy Katzenmoyer's got a 7-foot putt for his college eligibility and for Ohio State's number 3 national ranking. It's
It's pretty much accurate, too.
This is how it's done.
Yes, it is.
This is how it's done, and I think the guys do need to be paid. I think the players need to be paid. I don't think that it should be done by the boosters. I think that it should be an equal and equitable distribution. But I do think that the players need to have money. They're not allowed to work, so that's part of the NCAA is the players aren't allowed to work. So it's like you have a kid who's from the inner city, which a lot of these student athletes are. I'm not saying all of them are, but a lot of them are. And they don't, they come from humble beginnings, and they're doing this to try and change their family's life. And basically their whole life has been molded to create this athlete that can change their family's life. And that's great. It's just like, putting your kid in, study hall to become a doctor. It's the same thing. They're no different. Except one career is for a lifetime. The other one is, 2 to 8 years. But then that you send them to college, and it's like at the college that Steve and I went to at Boston University, most of the kids there were, not most, I'm going to say a lot of the students there were super wealthy. I mean, super wealthy. I'd never seen money like that. I went to my college roommate's house for Thanksgiving. The butler met me at the door. I crap you not. Eddie Murphy lived across the street. I mean, it was nuts. I'd never seen anything like that before. And you put these kids in that situation, and they can't even earn money. They don't have any money from their parents. They can't earn money. It's like, how is that fair in any way whatsoever, man? And then it's like they took money from a booster or a car ride or went out for sushi with someone, and it's like a federal offense. I mean, that was like the Miami investigation. It was like that whole thing with Nevin Shapiro, the 2-3 years of that Steve Emmert NCAA investigation netted. Ja'Cory Harris went out for sushi with this guy. That was really the net result. It was like
a couple boat rides on the yacht.
Yeah,
and outside
so
of
what?
that particular point,
So
exactly. I mean,
So what?
I know. So what? I agree. So what?
What? It's like, anyways, man. I could talk about this stuff in a show in itself, but we could also talk about the Bruins Red Wings, Chris. St. Louis, Cashville, Rod. Got Bennington and Bruins and Flyers and Lightning and Panthers and Edmonton. Chaos. Chris, what are you looking at here?
Yeah.
Start at the top of the list. I'm gonna go Detroit plus 350 against Boston. Detroit's already beaten Boston twice this season, combined 7-3. Detroit's won the last 5 against Boston by, I think, the combined score 20-10. So it's not like this is some sort of fluke that they're beating up on Boston. I was trying to see if I could find reverse puck line just to see what the odds on that were, but I guess I'm just stuck with the with Detroit plus 350
There's
here.
got to be a reverse puck line. I'll look at it while we're doing it.
Yeah, because I want to see what that is, minus 1.5 for Detroit, because I'd put a little bit on that. I like St. Louis minus 130 against Nashville. I just think this is going to be a bounce back spot for St. Louis because a lot of their recent struggles have come on the road where they haven't been playing well, and Nashville's coming in off that 5-0 win over the Islanders, but I think they get a reality check against St. Louis. And I like Tampa Bay on the puck line against Philly. Tampa Bay's just rolling along right now, and I just don't like Philly's spot right here on the road. I think Tampa Bay kind of steamrolls them here 5-2, so I'll take Tampa Bay on the puck line.
Rod, the birdcage hitter from yesterday. Man,
Not taking aside that puck.
people love the puck dogs, and I know why, because they make money on them. It's like with me, it's like they make money with me, they still hate me. But the puck dogs, they love it. I see a minus 1.5 at plus 755 on the Red Wings, and a minus 1 at plus 668 on the
I'll
Red
take
Wings.
a shot.
So you can
Take the
get
minus
almost
1.
7.5 times your money laying the goal and a half, or just 6 and 7/10 times your money laying the goal in this one.
If you lay the goal, you're better because if Detroit still wins by 1, then you get a push and you don't lose anything, right?
Here comes
you lay
here
the
comes
1.5.
mathematician Rod. He's changing hats. He's got his math hat on.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
put my thinking
Mine-
cap on.
Minus 1, you can still get a push. Minus 1.5. If Detroit wins by 2, they win. But if they only win by 1, then at least you get a push.
How if they win by
So minus
3?
1. That it? What's the minus 2.5? Is that on there?
More goals for Detroit.
Can you
Good.
get over? I guess that's over. I'm just going to take the over in this game. Since we're talking all these goals, I think we're going to get some goals. And give me the over 5.5.
So
I
minus
actually think it's going to
435
be.
just isn't in your wheelhouse for a Saturday hockey game and TD North Garden.
That might be parlay killers.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
if you bet $1,000, you win $210. Congratulations. How about these other games, Rod?
I went Chris. Give me Tampa on the puck line. They're 9-0 straight up. They're just rolling. Where's it? Another one. I'm not going to take the Blues here. I'm not getting on the Blues. It's sad, but that kicks your butt when somebody nearly dies on your bench. Give me Nashville here today. Nashville on the money line. I think they go into St. Louis and get a win. And the Oilers. Give me the Oilers. The Oilers are 9-1 their last 10 in Florida. They like to play in Florida. Give me the Oilers on the money line here.
Yeah, bench incidents like that are never good. They're never good.
Oh.
Never good for the team morale. My favorite bench incident was when Bimbo Cole stood up on the bench and said, "What am I doing here?" He just had no idea where he was. It was a Miami Heat player back in the day. Stood up on the bench and just said, "What am I doing here?" He had a mental breakdown or something right there on the bench. Anyways, it's just a weird thing to say. Syracuse, Florida State, Oklahoma, Kansas, Purdue, Ohio State, Dayton, UMass, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Mississippi State, Arkansas. These are among the early games. Steve, you see anything there or any of these other early games that get it done for you? I've got a couple of these as premium picks, but man, I like Oklahoma here. against Kansas.
Yeah.
The 11.5. I'd like Kansas to win, and I think they win. I think it's one of those games where they're leading by 8 points the entire game. It's like, I know Oklahoma's going to score baskets and Kansas is going to score baskets, but the lead will never change. The differential from 8 points, it will just remain there. They just started off with an 8-point lead, and that's exactly what they'll just stagger it up.
No. No.
I'm with you on Oklahoma against Kansas. I think it's too many points. Kansas should win. Every time I take Kansas and it's a big spread, they haven't been covering consistently, so I like that. Penn State Northwestern, 12.5 for Penn State. I got Northwestern stinks. Penn State. Last I saw, 13th in the country, and I had a conversation with a couple people. I can't remember Penn State being this highly ranked in men's college basketball in memory.
They've had some good teams. Penn State has had some good teams in recent years, generally led by strong guard play. But This is the best that they've been as far as rankings. You don't see Penn State go into Michigan State and beat a decent Michigan State team like they did this year. They'll go in if it was the year the Cowboys drafted Troy Aikman or something, they go in and beat them, and if they're having a year like that, or the year that Coach K sat out for Duke. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden it looked like, right? It's like a mess. But, yeah, you don't see them do what they're doing this year to too many teams.
And Dayton, UMass. I just think Dayton should crush UMass. Dayton, only 2 losses, and got a top player. I see Dayton rolling. Even though last I saw it's 13.5, but I think Dayton is just too powerful for UMass.
Toppin's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is.
He's the best player.
He's up there for Player of the Year. There's no doubt.
Rod, who do you like in these early games?
Kansas.
Rod's like, here's my Hofstra money, and here's it after betting it on Kansas. It's like Rod's got his Hofstra money. It's like, what is this? It's like his wife asked him, "What's that?" I'll just take it from that. That's my Hofstra money.
Hofstra's taking us out for dinner tonight.
It's like, don't touch the Hofstra money because that's gold. Hofstra doing it again the other night, right? It's the
Tulsa at South Florida here. Give me Tulsa. Tulsa plus 2.5. Tulsa's 8-3 in conference play. They're 7-2 ATS their last 9. I think they get a win here. I wouldn't be surprised if Tulsa wins this outright. Another one, Mississippi State at Arkansas. I like Mississippi State. Give me Mississippi State plus the points.
I like that.
They're 7-3 ATS their last 10. I think they win this one outright too.
The Arkansas fans are so harsh on me too, man. Every time I pick against them, they're so harsh on me, man. I don't care.
Who's worse, Arkansas fans or Tennessee fans?
I would say the Arkansas fans have actually been worse because their team was a little better for a while, but now they're falling off the cart. They're 2-8 in their last 10 or something?
Yeah, something like that. And I think Texas Tech was on the early list. Give me Texas Tech on the early list there.
So someone's asking about Belmont. Is that one of the early games? I'm not sure. Just see what time they're
There's so many.
Going over it. We're not just going random. The Belmont game's at 6 o'clock, so we'll go over it when we get to those games. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, the 2 games that I had were the same as Rod. I like Tulsa plus the 2 against South Florida. Tulsa just playing improved defense in conference play, and South Florida's a team that even at home has had a tendency to struggle to score the basketball. So I'm not going on South Florida here. I'll take Tulsa plus the 2. I'll take Mississippi State plus the 2.5 against Arkansas. Arkansas is just falling apart before our eyes, and Mississippi State's playing pretty well. I'll take Mississippi State plus the 2.5.
So then we got the 2 o'clock games. We'll do these, and then we'll go back to hockey. Bradley, Southern Illinois. Okay, Bradley's been really cruel to me this season, even though they have a winning record against the spread. Kentucky, Ole Miss. Iowa State, Texas. My under the radar best bet of the day. People always ask, what's your best bet? The one that I didn't give in the premium area of my best of best bets is, once again, the Florida A&M Rattlers. Man, these guys are freaking good. They beat Iowa State this season. And I know they're 9-13, but this is the best 9-13 team in the country. This is a team that Florida A&M could be that team that gets into the NCAA tournament with a 500 or losing record. They, like every year, there's always that team. I think Florida A&M, and then they'll play Rod's Kansas Jayhawks. Right? It's like Jim Nantz is announcing the bracket, and they'll play Kansas. The Kansas Jayhawks. They show Kansas. Yeah, it's like Florida A&M guys
It's like they cross feed and you see Rod just cheering in his chair.
I'll tell you what, man. This Florida A&M team is really good. I know they're 9-13. I know that. I know that. But their out of conference was so loaded. It was like a Long Beach State out of conference schedule. It was just loaded. And they played everywhere. At USC, they didn't care. They went cross country. I think they played Oregon too. I mean, they played freaking everyone. And Delaware State, us four and anyone from the audience could take on Delaware State and give them a good run. They could be the worst team in the country for the last 10 years running. Delaware State stinks. I mean, Mark, who used to be on the one of our writers, he lives in Delaware, and even he was like, he didn't even like to say the words Delaware State. He's like, they just went to like the student union and picked out 5 guys and threw them some uniforms and gave them like free books. He's like, that's really what happened there. It's like they're 3-20 on the season, the Hornets. I mean, they are struggling. 3-8 at home, 5-4 against the number, and 2-8 in their last 10, 2-7 against the number. The Rattlers 7-3 in the last 10. Great logo, great band. I'm going with Florida A&M here. In this one, I don't know. They just don't get a lot of love. North Texas was on our Spread Knowledge show. They've been a cover machine this season. We got Nebraska, Wisconsin, Georgetown, Butler, St. Louis, LaSalle. I know Rod really likes betting against LaSalle. It's like, I'll take a Hofstra parlayed with whoever's playing LaSalle.
LaSalle.
A game another one that I was going to put in the premium picks and didn't. Florida International. I like them against Southern Miss. Then there's Texas A&M, Georgia, which I'm afraid to go with anywhere near, but my gut tells me Texas A&M. Steve, any of these games get you?
I like Kentucky at home. I think Kentucky is worthy of a 9.5 point spread. I think they turn it on. I definitely like Kentucky here. The other game I like, I know you're all in on Butler, and I should be all in on Butler, but it's Georgetown at home. I'll take +9. Georgetown keeps it competitive against Butler. Or it's at Butler, but anyway. No, but I still think Georgetown, I'll take the +9.
This is the Hoosiers, where they shot Hoosiers.
Huh? No. Ollie, get on the strap shoulders. I know.
Same height as our baskets back at our gym at Hickory.
Boys, you'll find the same dimensions at our. Yeah, but I'll take +9 Georgetown against Butler.
How about you, Rod?
I'm gonna take Miami, the Hurricanes this week over Wake Forest. Miami back at home. They're 4-1 ATS their last 5 at home, and they burnt me last week. So I think they come. They get a good win. They look pretty good doing it.
Boston College burned you.
Yeah, they didn't even show up. Thank Boston College. I looked at that Butler game, Georgetown Butler, and I was like, I would. That's a lot of points, but
It's Butler.
I know. I'd have to go with. I think I'd have to go with Steve if I was going to take that game and take Georgetown. I think that's just too many points.
Anything else, or ready for Chris?
That's what I'm looking. Oh, there we go. Is that no? That's the next time slot.
We'll go to Chris. Chris, outside of Georgia State, who do you like in this time slot?
I like Southern Illinois plus a 1.5 at home against Bradley. I just think this is a game where Southern Illinois wants to prove that they're a legit contender in the Missouri Valley this season. And you're giving me a 1.5 team. It's 11-1 at home, 9-2 against the spread at home. I know Bradley's been good at times, but I just think this is a show up spot for Southern Illinois. And I'm going to go the other way. I like Ole Miss plus a 9.5 against Kentucky. I just think that Kentucky, there's a bit of a look ahead spot. They got a road game against LSU on tap next that could determine some major conference tournament implications at the top. And Ole Miss has been playing better lately, and they just whooped Mississippi State last time out. They've been playing better.
Rivalry game. To me, that's you put the line through it.
Yeah, but they've still been playing a lot better lately than they have been for most of conference play. So I'll take a shot with Ole Miss plus the 9.5.
So you're including Georgia State, or you're not including Georgia State?
Well, you called me out on it, so I guess I have to put it in there.
All right, because I'm putting together a parlay here for the show, and I'm adding Georgia State here on that. There, Georgia State. All right. Go back to the NHL. The wonderful world of ice. Minnesota up against San Jose. Montreal against Dallas. Montreal was terrible last night. I gave them out as my dog of the day at Sports Chat. Was it 2 nights ago? Whew. Stunk up the joint. Ottawa against Toronto. I'm going to guess that is the main event in Hockey Night in Canada. And Colorado versus Los Angeles. So without Cherry doing Hockey Night in Canada, how is this? Is the show even?
Not gonna lie to you, I wouldn't know. I haven't watched.
Really?
I'm not going to tune in. It's Ron McLean, and he's drier than a popcorn fart. So I'm not watching no Ron McLean.
Yeah, I thought that Cherry, was kind of like the Craig Sager of hockey, right? But more like with a Howard Cosell edge to him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
He
us,
lied and things up.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, a lot of people are critical of the things that I say, and do, and it's like, I just say the things that other people are thinking, that's all I do. I don't say everything that they're thinking, but I say a lot of the things that they're thinking, and they're afraid to say. People are afraid to say, and they say, "Oh my God, how could he say that?" Because it's what I do, It's what I do. I say the most inappropriate things, and I usually pick the most inappropriate time to say it. Anyways. Speaking of inappropriate, Rod, what do you think about these afternoon, early evening? Though that Minnesota game could be at dusk.
At dusk? Yeah.
That dusk time matchup.
The Sharks, this will be their third game in, 4 nights? And that scares me, though, this Wild. Why did they fire their coach? I have no idea, man. The Wild fired their coach just out of nowhere. Like, they had one loss. It's not like they were playing bad. That still baffles me, but I'm going to take the Wild here today. They're at home. Give me the Wild over the Sharks. Wild minus 1.5. I think they get her done. New coach, old coach. I think they still win. Give me Dallas to win in regulation over Montreal. Dallas is just playing the way better hockey. Montreal is. Price played last time. I'm guessing they're going to throw in some backup in there. I guess. And for sure, the Avs. Give me the Avs on the puck line. They're going to beat the snot out of the Kings.
So
missing it?
Someone's asking me what's the difference between a premium pick and a free pick. And for me, right now, this is going to change in the next few weeks. But right now, it's just the games that I like the best. You guys know I've been giving out tons of free picks. So I've been giving out so many of them. And just because I give out a pick in the free picks, and just like Chris's free picks or anyone's free picks, generally these are an opinion. Some of the games we love, but most of them are just our opinion and a look at how we get there. It's not really like I love this game just because I give a pick on it. I mean, I do. How many did we say? 700 videos a month on YouTube. I don't love all those games. That's for damn sure. I even say in the video, I don't love this one. It's like, but hey, I'm gonna get a couple new subscribers that want to hear my opinion on it, I'll talk about it, whatever it takes, right? It's like, should I gave out the Florida A&M pick here. Anyways, back at it. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I think I did my picks.
All right.
Go. On the morning.
As far as the Minnesota firing their coach, I think that just goes back to the pressure to win now in the league. I mean, it wasn't the first time that Minnesota had blown a lead in recent games, and I just think that was kind of where the shoe had to drop. The coach is always the first guy that's going to get the blame. So, but I'm going to take Minnesota as well and bounce back here. I think the players are going to kind of feel bad that they're going to feel like they were the reason that the coach got let go, and I think they're going to put forth a solid showing here against the San Jose team that I've given up on. So. I like Minnesota in regulation, minus 125. I like Dallas, minus 130 against Montreal. Like Rod said, Montreal's just playing terrible right now, and Dallas is playing really well. I think Montreal could start Carey Price here on back-to-back nights just because their playoff hopes are hanging on by a thread, but wouldn't be surprised to see Charlie Lindgren go here either. I'm going to lean towards Toronto in regulation against Ottawa. Just because these Battle of Ontario games could go either way, but I just like the way Toronto's playing just a little bit better than Ottawa right now. And I'm going to go Colorado on the puck line as well against LA. LA on the road, not a team I'm trying to back, and Colorado's probably going to bounce back here, so I'd like Colorado on the puck line.
So here's a guy who likes to tell people how to spend their money. I love these guys, right? This is the dumbest thing. Here's there's no such thing as a stupid question. Yeah, there is, and there's even dumber comments, and this is one of them. So, real sports bettors bet 2, maybe 3 games away, and I hear this all the freaking time, right? You can't bet that many games, right? Well, number one, like I just said, we're just looking for opinions and this stuff, and it doesn't mean we're betting all of these games. We never said that was the case. My best bets are in the premium area. I think I got 5 or 6. But how could you say real sports bettors bet 2 to 3 games a day? I bet the games, and I have those premium picks, and I might add more to it. I bet the games that fit my formula, whether it's every game on the card or 0. I bet the ones that fit the criteria for me to bet the game. I don't just bet a game because it's the only game of the day. I say it all the time. It's like if this wasn't on the Monday Night Football, I wouldn't even be giving out a pick. I say things like that all the time. But it's like, how could you say I'll only bet 2 to 3 games on a day like yesterday where there's 15 games, and a day like today where there's 99 games? The ratio doesn't even make sense. So on a day where there's 99 games, there's more likely a scenario where these games fit. And I'll tell you where it fits. Usually is these under the radar ones. Well, everyone's on Baylor, West Virginia. The public wants to bet one way or the other. It's like, hey man, that Florida A&M game don't look so bad all of a sudden, right? It's like, those are the places where you're going to find those differentials in there, or places like that. And that's why on those games the books limit the amount you can bet. On those 6-digit games we call them, right? Because the regular rotation numbers are 3, and then when you have the added games, there's 6, and those are the ones, where it's like if you can hit those added games, that's where you can really clean up. And I've said this all the time. I've dealt with the sports books in the past. I have a lot of friends at the sports books, and both the offshores and the U.S. legal books. And I don't say I do business with all of them because one's illegal and the other is legal, but it's like at the same time, it wasn't always that way. And the other cases they say, I always know I'm going to take a beating when some guy comes in and starts putting in big bets on NBA totals. I know I'm going to lose. They always say it. It's like, I know I'm going to lose. So it's like, if that angle fits on, just because it's one game or that same angle fits on 20 games, you think that, it's like, it's stupid. It doesn't even make sense. It's just the dumbest thing. It's like, this is the guy who's smarter than us. He's just smarter than us. So what you should do, start your own YouTube channel, start your own website, have your own show, and expel your knowledge to everybody. Let everyone know just how freaking smart you are, because you're way smarter than I am. Anyways, speaking of people smarter than me, Chris, where are we? Hockey. We passed. We are we on, do we finish these games? Because I'm thinking to
Yeah.
myself all along while I'm talking. The Hofstra Pride logo is kind of like that Minnesota Wild thing, where it's like it's got the two. I'm not sure if they're lions or tigers or what the hell is going on in that thing. And then it's like you look at the Wild logo and it's like I just found out it was a bear 2 weeks ago. It's like I've been looking at this thing for years. I don't know.
Yeah, I gave out my
All
picks
right.
for that last.
We got 3 more
slide.
hockey games: Blackhawks, Flames, Capitals, Coyotes, and Islanders, Vegas. I'll continue on with the comments while these guys are talking. I
Look,
agree you don't need to bet a
Islanders.
million games in every game on the board. I'm just saying whatever games fit your criteria, whether it be 10 or 1 or 0. It don't matter.
The Islanders at Vegas. Islanders looked like hot trash the last game.
This guy's my.
They went.
Wait, hold on. This is my favorite because we all do this, right? If I win my early games, I'm betting the late one. It's like I always end up. It's like I really like that early game a lot, and I bet a ton on it, And it's like I'll take that money and I'll bet it, All right, Texas Tech, whatever. It's like Texas Tech, Oklahoma State. All right, why not? It's like it wasn't on my board. It's not on my card. I didn't even give it out as a free pick. But what the hell?
Don't you hate when you do that?
Oh.
You bet all the early games and all your action's done, and you're like, now what do I do? Oh, look at that game. I'll put a little on there.
This is what we do. This is what we do. I can't help myself. This is what we do. This is who we are.
Vegas. Give me Vegas here. They've looked better the team. The Hunters. I don't know what that was in Nashville, but why is it going to improve going to Vegas? That probably won't. Give me Vegas here on the puck line.
Ron Garris, women's tennis match at plus 250 on Spread Knowledge. Paid for his whole year subscription. Awesome. Carjacking in Toronto. Puck Dogs killing it. How about where are we at? You guys keep
Washington at Coyotes. Give the Coyotes still no goalie issue. I'm not a fan of those Coyotes. I think they've checked out. Not going to make the playoffs. Give me Washington on the puck line. I think they come in there and get a win. And the last one, this Chicago at the Flames. Flames first game back home off that road trip. Give me the Blackhawks. They're going to turn around and get a win here tonight, I think. I think that was the last, all 3.
So, anyways, the same guy that told us about how to spend our money also put out Providence as a lock. So, Cliff asked him if he could thank him, if we should thank him later.
Who are they playing?
Steve hasn't been with us as long, but we have a thing that we've done for even back at the other sports chat. Now I could say it, instead of calling it the other.
I know, nothing is a lock.
But
I know.
We used to call it on the old sports chat live show. We used to call it the lock of death. People would say it's a lock, and I'd say today's lock of death. And that's why that came from. And then the thank me later guys, they always say thank me later, and then it's like when it loses, we never see them later, and it's like, so do we get you? So if it loses, do we get to kick you in the teeth later? Is that how this works? It's like thank me later. It's like it's just it's so arrogant, It's so smug. Thank me later. It's like, dude. Anyways, man, I like Providence also, but it's far from a lock. You know what I mean? I don't even remember. I went through so many games. I don't remember who they're playing, but if you see my video, I gave out Providence as well. But I don't remember. I know it's a Big East game.
Seton Hall.
Big East is
Seton Hall.
Seton Hall.
Yeah, they're playing Seton Hall. And it's like, I like Providence too, and Ed Cooley is my favorite of the college basketball coaches. I say it every single show, any chance I get. Not ashamed of it, but yeah, I like Providence here. It's down to 1.5, anyways, but and it's far from the lock. So where are we at? Are we done with hockey?
I like.
I always
I'll
sleep
give
through
out
the hockey
mine.
portion. It's like I always have to ask these guys where we're at because like I'm just. It's like I got to find something else to do or I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, I like Calgary as well. I like them on the money line against Chicago. Chicago's just struggling right now. They're starting to look like they may be falling out of the playoff race with the way they've been playing, losing 5 in a row. I like Washington as well, -135. I think this is a bargain price against an Arizona team that can't find any solid goaltending. And I'm also on Vegas in regulation at -110 against the Islanders. Or just the Islanders, like Rod said, looked terrible last time out against Nashville. Vegas not as strong at home as they've been in recent years, but they're still a pretty good home team. So I'll go with Vegas here.
Chris, what do you think in Ohio State? This guy is relentless here. What do you think about Ohio State Purdue?
Where is it?
It's 12 o'clock game. We passed it, but no one talked about it.
Yeah.
Purdue's been miserable on the road. In Ohio State, I swore I would never bet again. So it's
Yeah. I'll lay the points with Ohio State mainly because that home dominance factor in the Big Ten, and along with the fact that Purdue hasn't been very good on the road.
I thought this game was a pick-em. Loyola, Chicago, and Northern Iowa. Did the line move? Is that what
it moved to 1.5?
It's 1.5 now.
Yeah, for Loyola.
I like Northern Iowa.
Yeah, that was the game I wrote. I like Northern Iowa as well. I liked him at a pick 'em, and I liked him even more at 1.5 as well.
Let's get to
put some money line action.
Let's get to some of these later college hoops games. Get the ball rolling, as they say. Got Rutgers, Illinois. So
I'm getting
Hofstra, which
in
is
the
Austin
car and going to
Peay, is
this.
playing. So
I'm getting in the car and going to this game. I'm going to make my first appearance at a Rutgers basketball
I
game.
love Illinois in this one, and
I love Illinois too.
love them plus the 4. But the thing is that as good as Rod's Hofstra team has been, if you've been parlaying with my Austin Peay, you're riding the gravy train, man. These are if someone posted in the Facebook group the top teams against the spread, and I hadn't even really looked at it, but Hofstra and Austin Peay are like the two. They're like killing people. They're like, and we've been on them early and often, so it's like we have really cashed these, and I think we've even sidestepped a few of these grenades in there too. But Illinois, Rutgers, Austin Peay, EKU, TCU, KSU, Murray State against Moorhead. That was like 2 states that are not states. The Jim Valvano was like, it's like, what do you think about playing Murray State today? I'm always concerned when I'm playing a state that's not really a state. That was his quote on that. Mizzou against Auburn, Tennessee, South Carolina, Michigan State, Maryland, Pitt, Virginia Tech, Yale, Penn, Princeton, Brown, SMU, Houston. Man, there's a lot of games this time slot. Steve, anything there?
I like Houston against SMU. It's -1.5. I definitely like that game. Auburn laying 5 against Missouri. Auburn is they keep rolling, so I'm going to stick with Auburn here. And like I said, I'm going to be going to the Rutgers game today. However, I think Illinois comes in, and I'll take the points. I think it's 4, like you said, so I'll take +4 Illinois in the road at Rutgers here. I like those.
It's an outdoor game in Colorado. In hockey.
Yeah, it's at Falcon Stadium.
Air Force? So that'd be in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
I know that. That's why I didn't block you. I know that. Well, stop responding to these degenerates. If I don't talk to degenerates, I got no one to talk to. It's like I'm talking to myself. It's like Steve, Rod, and Chris were going to join me today, but I stopped talking to degenerates, and they did too. It's like we should do the show like this, all with our backs facing.
Absolutely. Upsides.
Comment of the year right there. I love it. I mean it in the best way. Man. So where are we at with these games? There's a lot of big ones. That Michigan State, Maryland, man, that's big.
It is big.
Did you give out yours, Steve? You did yours?
Yeah, I did. But the Maryland Michigan State game. Michigan State's been killing me, man, for the last couple weeks. But I'm gonna roll with them. I'm a Coach Izzo guy. I think this is the time of year. Michigan State. They've had some bad losses. If they're gonna start the rolling of their machine, it's got to start soon. They're home, laying 7 against Maryland. I'll say Michigan State has a good performance today, so I'm going to go with the Spartans here.
Rod, who are you looking at in this time slot? We got a lot of games on the board here.
For me, I like Kansas State at TCU. Give me Kansas State here. TCU is 0-6 ATS their last 6. I like Kansas State. They're not much better than TCU, but I think they can beat TCU here today. Rutgers. I took Rutgers at -2.5, but it's now jumped all the way up to this -4. Maybe it'll hit -5, and I can get a middle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because Rutgers likes that 3-4 number, and there's that 4 again. So it's like, I'm happy with my -2.5. I think they can win by a bucket. Auburn at Missouri. Give me Auburn. They're 22-2 on the year, 9-2 in conference play. Give me Auburn over Missouri. Tennessee at South Carolina. Give me South Carolina. They've been playing some good ball. They're 5-1 ATS and straight up in the last 6. Tennessee's only 2-4 their last 6. I like South Carolina there. And of course I like Hofstra. They're playing a team that their average loss on the road is almost 15 points. So give me Hofstra there today. I think that's all the ones that were on the.
So we had this question about Belmont earlier, and I said I would get to it at the 6 o'clock spot. I do like Belmont, and I like the fact that they played the tough out-of-conference schedule. I think that there's one thing, well, college basketball has gotten a lot of things right. I mean, when they dropped the shot clock, first they put in the shot clock, then they lowered it, spanning three-point lines. I mean, these guys, they don't wait. They just make a decision, and they just move forward. And I'll tell you what, man, the game is better for it every single time, right? NBA and college basketball, both of them. But one thing that they seriously have right is that when you lose to a tough opponent, especially on the road or in a tournament scenario early in the season or at any point in the season, it doesn't really hurt you as far as tournament selection. It might hurt you in the seedings a little bit, but it will only help you. It's like losing to Oregon is better than beating Delaware State, is the way that it works. If you lose to Oregon by 6, it's better than beating Delaware State by 20. It's just the way that it works, and that's the way that it should work. So Belmont's seriously scheduled up. I mean, they seriously scheduled up out of conference, and good for them, right? But they are 11-1 at home and 9-2 against the number at home. They're ranked 14 here against the Jacksonville State team that always bites me in the ass. But I don't care. I just think it's weird that Jacksonville State is not in Jacksonville, right? That it's in Alabama. It's a different Jacksonville. It's like, who the hell? I don't even understand that. But I don't mean to offend any Jacksonville State people, but it just seems a little odd to me. It seems a little suspect. Then it's like, well, what should we call ourselves? I don't know. I always liked South Carolina. How about the Gamecocks? Okay, works for me. I just don't know, man. It's like they're always good, but Belmont's one of those teams that they kind of get on a roll, and you don't want to be on the other side of it. It's one of those, those go to the refrigerator games. It's like they were up by 6. I went to the refrigerator. I came back. They were up by 20. Right? That's what Belmont does.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. 6 threes in a row or something. So I would lean to Belmont here. All right, back to where we were. Chris, right?
Yeah. So I'm just going to circle back quickly to one game. I'm also going to go on FIU -2 against Southern Miss. I just like the way FIU's been playing in Southern Miss at the basement of Conference USA. They're not going anywhere quick. So I like FIU.
Is another one of those teams that can get into the tournament with a marginal record. that is playing
Yeah.
that type of basketball, and they've done it. It's not like they haven't done it before. They made it to the tournament once at 12 and 18.
Yeah. Another one, I like Northern Illinois laying the 2 against Miami, Ohio. Just Northern Illinois is playing well enough. They keep rattling off wins. They're getting off up to the top of one of the divisions in the MAC. So I like Northern Illinois -2. I like Clemson +5 against Louisville. I just think back-to-back road games for Louisville after not showing up against Georgia Tech. Clemson's already beat teams like Duke at home this season. I think Clemson shows up for this one and keep it within 4 points. I'll take Clemson. I'm going to go on the other side. I like TCU -3 against Kansas State. I just find TCU's offense a little more consistent and easier to trust. Kansas State's had issues scoring the basketball all year. TCU got held to like 40 points against Texas Tech, so I think they want to make amends for that and come out firing here. I like Auburn -5 against Missouri. Just a great Auburn team against a Missouri team that can't score, basically. And I like South Carolina as well, -3.5 against Tennessee. South Carolina's just playing really good basketball right now, and Tennessee isn't. So I like South Carolina.
All right, so we got the everything else games on the card at this point. Florida Vandy, I wouldn't even touch this one. Providence, Seton Hall, North Carolina, Virginia, Northern Iowa, Loyola, Washington, UCLA, which looks very odd to me. Again, in the Washington game. We got Arizona, Stanford, and Gonzaga, Pepperdine. How about the over in Gonzaga, Pepperdine, 162.5? That looks interesting to me. And I don't know. I think UCLA just beats the dog crap out of Washington. Washington stinks, man. It's like, why were they only? It was the same. It's the same line as it was against USC. I mean, UCLA is not nearly as good as USC, but it's like it's the same line. It's like they can't cover that number on the road. It's like I love the way the Pac-12 schedules the road trips. It's like you play Oregon, then you play Oregon State Thursday at Oregon, Saturday at Oregon State. Same thing here. They played USC, now they play UCLA, the double road trips, and it's like Thursday, Saturday, so they don't have to go home. You know, you can go to Disney World, whatever the hell they want to do, Disneyland, whatever they want to do. But Universal Studios, whatever the case may be. But I don't know, but I do like Oregon State on the money line here against Colorado. I'll tell you that much.
Hell yeah.
Oregon State last week on the money line is a similar spot. I like them again. Steve, what are you looking at here?
Yeah, that was going to say one of my favorites. Oregon State, Colorado, Oregon State. Definitely, I'll take the last +2 for Oregon State. Love that game. Gonzaga, they're laying 15 on Pepperdine. I think they cover. I think Gonzaga blows the doors off them. So I like Gonzaga too in the late game. But I love Oregon State. That's one of my best ones of the day.
34% of the public on the Beavers. Rod?
I think I had 3 left. I missed one of the last thingy. Notre Dame at Duke. I think that number's way too big. I don't know. It looks too easy to grab onto. Give me Notre Dame plus 12.5. That seems. Give it to me. Notre Dame's 6-0, and I've been riding them, and I'll keep riding them.
You think Mike Brey was offered that UCLA job? Anyone think that? He probably was.
Yeah.
He didn't take it.
I think he was near the top of the list.
I think he was offered.
I think he was too.
I think he was offered. I think he was number 1 on the list. I don't know, man.
But what does that say?
You think he thinks he's going to get a pro job, like within somebody? You think he thought he was going to get the Knicks job? I mean, I don't really know.
What does that say about the state of UCLA basketball, man? If they can't, they got Mick Cronin for Christ's sake. UCLA basketball.
I mean, how about if Bray was at like one of these other places, like so Virginia, North Carolina? Someone's asking about that. I did a video on this game, so you can check it out there. Any of these big games that we didn't go over, I did a video. But I took Virginia.
I like Virginia. Virginia.
Yeah. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's wrap it up. We've been on too long. I'm getting dizzy.
DePaul, get dizzy. Okay, stop moving around.
I'm not allowed to talk to degenerates. It was a comment on the show, and I'm going to take the
Okay.
audience advice.
DePaul at Creighton. Give me Creighton -9. I think they're just a better team here. DePaul is like hot trash. 0-6 straight up. 2-4 ATS their last 6. Yeah, give me Creighton here at home.
Here it is. I am always wrong. Always. Thank you. Yes. I am always wrong. We got 301 people watching us, man. Thank you guys so much. Sure to hit the thumbs up.
And I'm with you on the Beavers. Go Beavers.
Oh, we didn't do all-star in skills and 3-point, but Randy covered those at Sports Chat Place.
Yeah, he's got them all there.
Our brother's site, Sports Chat Place. I'm allowed to say it. I used to call this my site I used to work at. I was calling it and stuff. It's like my old site. It's Sports Chat Place. And I own that one too.
Yeah, Randy covered all 3. He's got.
I love it when people send me the email. You suck. I'm going over to Sports Chat Place and getting there. I own that site. And I used to say it about my other site too. I'm going over to this other site. I own that too.
We'll see you over there.
Be sure to sign up for the premium package while you're there. Go ahead. We got to wrap this up.
I've done mine. Who's next? Go, Chris.
I'll be quick with mine. I like Vanderbilt plus 14.5 against Florida. I just don't think Florida should be favored by that much. Vanderbilt kept them within 6 points earlier this season. I like Virginia plus the 2 against North Carolina. North Carolina has been playing great for most of this conference play, and Virginia's defense is always the equalizer, so I'll take Virginia plus the 2. I like USC -7 against Washington State. Washington State's just been terrible on the road, and USC keeps stepping up in these bigger spots, so I'll take USC -7. I like South Dakota plus the 2.5 against Oral Roberts. South Dakota's just on fire right now, and I like them to win that game outright. I don't see how Oral Roberts is favored here. I like UCLA -3 against Washington. Like we said, UCLA is just a better team. Washington's been playing terrible. And I like Utah State -5 against at Fresno State. Fresno State keeps getting this unwarranted respect, and even at home, I just see Utah State being the much better team here. It should be maybe a 7 or 8 point spread, so I'll take Utah State laying the 5.
Chris has got to throw out the big word before the show is over. He's like, it's 11:01. I better use unwarranted in a sentence. It's like, all right.
It was on my calendar.
Today's word is unwarranted.
Unwarranted.
Can you use that in a sentence? Country of origin, please.
I have just a piece of cardboard that I'm writing down with my finger.
Like, oh man. All right, let's do the recap. Chris, you're always first.
All right.
Do it.
I'm just going to go with the games that I'm betting on the ice today. I'm going to go Tampa Bay on the puck line -1.5 against Philadelphia. Dallas -130 against Montreal. Colorado -1.5 against LA. Calgary -145 against Chicago. And Washington -135 against Arizona. A 2-team puck line parlay. Tampa Bay and Colorado both -1.5. College hoops. I like Tulsa +2 against USF. Mississippi State +2.5 against Arkansas. FIU -2 against Southern Miss. Northern Illinois -2 against Miami, Ohio. Auburn -5 against Missouri. South Carolina -3.5 against Tennessee. Vanderbilt +14.5 against Florida. South Dakota +2.5 against Oral Roberts. And Utah State -5 against Fresno State.
Rod, what are you betting?
I am going to bet the Wild on the puck line. Boston over 5.5. Nashville on the money line. The Oilers on the money line. Dallas on the money line. Avs on the puck line. Washington on the puck line. Vegas on the puck line. That's what I'm betting in hockey. My 3-team birdcage in hockey. Give me Dallas, the Oilers, and Nashville, all on the money line. College hoops. Give me Kansas minus the 10.5. Give me Tulsa plus 2.5. Mississippi State plus 2.5. Miami minus 3.5. NIU minus 2. Rutgers, well, it's now at minus 4. Yeah, give me Rutgers minus 4. Kansas State plus 3 over TCU. Texas Tech minus 3.5. Auburn minus 5. South Carolina minus 3.5. Creighton minus 9. Hofstra minus 14. Notre Dame plus 12.5. And Oregon State Beavers plus 2.5. College basketball birdcage. I'm going to go with Oregon State plus 2.5. Well, these are going to take all on the money line. Oregon State on the money line. Mississippi State on the money line. Tulsa on the money line. 3-team birdcage.
Steve, it's you.
You got it. I like Oklahoma getting 11.5 against Kansas. I like Penn State laying 12.5 against Northwestern. Love Dayton 13.5 against UMass. Give me Oklahoma State plus 3 against Texas Tech. Kentucky 9.5 at home against Ole Miss. I'll take the points in Georgetown plus 9. Love Baylor laying 6.5 against the Huggins team. Louisville, Clemson. I'll take Clemson too, plus 5.5 here. Notre Dame, Duke. I think it's too many points. I think Notre Dame keeps it competitive, plus 12.5 Notre Dame. The Illinois Rutgers game, I'm going to be going there. Won't be popular because I'm going to take Illinois plus 4. Michigan State laying 7 against Maryland. Love Auburn against Missouri laying 5. I love Creighton today too, minus 9 against DePaul. I think Gonzaga smokes Pepperdine. It's a big spread, 15 points. And I love Oregon State too, plus 2. My parlay I'm doing today is Creighton minus 9. Dayton covering 13.5 against UMass. Auburn laying 5. And Oregon State getting 2 points.
I did a 14 parlay. Florida A&M, FIU, Georgia State, and Oregon State will be my 4-team parlay. We got free picks on every game every day at pickdogs.com. If you don't like the pick there or the opinion, head on over to our other site, sportschatplace.com. I will figure out how we're going to integrate the two sites on some things. I still want to keep them separate, but I still want to do some things together. So we'll do some joint ventures. In the meantime, we'll figure it all out. I want to show you guys. I said yesterday I would show you guys my company logo, and that is here. So my main thing. There it is, Dawn Patrol. You can see Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs, both part of Dawn Patrol. I'm somehow the president. If something happens to me, the vice president will take over.
Who was that?
My wife walked in the door. First words out of her mouth, idiot. She literally just walked in when I said that. So I don't know if we can do any more shows because I was advised by someone in the comments that I shouldn't be speaking to degenerates. But anyways, I'm going to talk to them anyway. This is Mitch. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Our most viewed live show as far as live viewers ever on any channel, on any show I've ever done, including March Madness. So I think March Madness is going to be off the chain. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do for our March Madness bracket selection show special. Maybe we'll do a bracket show watch together. As they announce the brackets, we'll all sit together and watch it.
We're all just sitting there eating popcorn.
Yeah, oatmeal, popcorn, M&Ms, peanut M&Ms, granola bars, whatever. Ice cream, popsicles, whatever it takes.
And then we'll just focus on Rod when Kansas gets announced.
It'll be a whole new time zone for us.
I know, I'll be all
time zone because it'll be through daylight savings time, but you guys change your clocks and I don't. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It was a lot of fun, as always.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.